Welcome to the Soul Space. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Kim.
And these true life stories are brought to you to inspire growth, healing, and positive changes.
Enjoy.
On behalf of me and
Kim,
we say thank you so much for coming on
Thank you.
today, Dom. Appreciate
Thank you for having me.
I'm excited. We both wanted you to interview you, so it's like no, we'll come together and we'll do it together.
Okay, thank you.
So, first, anything you want to ask? We've got to do this together, though. It's the first time actually interviewing someone together, isn't it?
is it?
Yeah,
Oh, yes, it's we
normally
interview each other, don't we?
it's a talk with Sarah and Kim, and we just share our own stuff.
So I'm the guinea pig.
So we
have interviewed
got
people,
to share
just not
you.
together. So that's going to be the hard thing.
Yeah, we've got to share you.
It's fine.
Let me just dress this place a little bit. Right. So, for those of you who don't know who Dawn Reader is, she is a fantastic psychic medium. Is that right? Psychic medium?
Medium, yeah.
Medium. You are based in Nuneaton. Your business name is Restoring Grace.
That's right.
You can find her online. You've got an extensive wait list, but she's worth the wait. So we want her on today because not only is she exceptionally gifted, but she is a beautiful soul and she has a lot of things to share. So what we want to know firstly is, what do we want to know firstly, Bex? Because what we're sharing, Kim?
Well, the normal, it's a soul story, so we have to go back.
Back in time.
What about me or?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you.
Oh,
All about you,
about
babe.
me.
Where it started, how your journey started.
I actually started to write. A really good friend of mine started writing a book, but they've had to put it on pause now. So I have been looking for a ghostwriter, if you know anybody. So anybody out there that's good at writing books, let me know. But I did start, and I actually, one of the questions was, when was it? I can't actually remember a specific day or time, but I know I was extremely small. Because I remember memories of Wood Street. Well, Wood Street, I was 3 when I moved out of there. So I can remember that house. I can remember the first time experiencing spirit there. And my mum always tells people she's always talking to what they thought was imaginary friends, because I am not from a spiritual family. My mum and dad didn't know about it. I wouldn't say believe in it. But and then me talking about a lady keeps putting me to bed, and my mum was like, what? So I was about 3 when I moved from there, so it must have been 2, 3 when I first seen it. But there was never an awakening. A lot of people talk to me about how do I get, obviously I'm a teacher and I teach people about awakenings and that, but there was never one for me. I just always...
It was always there.
It was always there, and a spirit actually said to me, it's your lot to do, explain it to a child, I suppose, is the soft spot in a child. You know, all children are born with soft spots, and that's where the gate opens. Some of them 90% of them close off. Yeah. But obviously mine was still open. It's the pineal gland in the brain.
It is, yeah.
So I was just always... Mine's bigger. As you can see, a lot more of me's bigger. So it was just that. And I just had wonderful... A lady asked me in another interview, have you ever had never had a bad experience with it. Never experienced it. It was norm for me. It was like sitting here talking to you two was how I spoke to spirit. So
over the years with your guides, we'll go a little bit more into depth about the relationship and the communications and how that actually feels and looks like for you. But over the years, have you had different guides come in and out?
Yeah.
Or you have different ones?
Main ones. I've got about 3 that I work with all the time that has been there. But over the years, I've got, oh, hello, there are you. The voice first, I always hear first, and then I start seeing it physical. Some of them come and go. People have said to me, they always stay. I said, no, they come and go. They don't always stay. It's different experiences if I've gone down different paths, because I always follow the universe. I don't actually go on to media and follow people or anything. I believe that everything's for reasons. I can be on media, you've all done it, and you see this woman talking, you think, oh, I'm supposed to have heard that. I've got to hear that, because that's how I've been thinking. So it's just the confirmation. I think media just gives confirmation of people's thought process of spirit, because psychics are very different. We're all psychic. Everybody's got psychic ability. So it's their own thoughts, it's their own third eye, it's their own imagination, it's their gut. That's psychic ability.
We're a bit like that, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're
So it'd be
very much
their
like
own,
that.
you know.
Very
it'd
much
be,
so, actually.
And you are all born with that. So
Yeah.
everybody's born with a psychic links to it.
Yeah.
It's just the people choose through generations of parenting and teaching, schools, that you live in the physical world. The
Not to
physical
listen
world.
to it.
Not to listen to it,
tap
because
into
we
it.
are, my dad never believed in it. He used to be probably more scared of what people would think of me.
Yeah.
As a parent, a protection.
Because back in the day, and I remember this all too well, there was a lot of taboo about it, and there was a lot of real kind of negative.
Get it now.
About it being sort of like, people are a bit cuckoo and they're a bit this and they're a bit, and it wasn't respected, and it wasn't, especially
It's not educated, is it?
In the on TV and stuff like that. It always portrays someone who was a little bit more sensitive and a bit more tuned in, as someone who was a bit, and I never felt that way growing up. I thought fascinating, and had many experiences myself, and so was Kim. But I suppose to the average person living kind of the
physical life.
To them it's like, what on earth are you on
Poo-pooing
about?
it.
Yeah.
But I don't ever expect people to understand it. It's asking them to believe in something you don't see, and it's like, it's each to their own. I've never shoved it down people's throats, but one thing, I've never been cruel to people for not believing in it. And I think in this industry, people are very cruel to it if they don't believe in it. Do you know, I've never been horrible to somebody that said or made fun of it. I've never said, well, you're an idiot. But we get
You've got respect where everyone's
perceived on
Yeah.
the other side that we're the idiots for believing it. But, I think it's just has to come with the kindness, doesn't it? And understanding. I don't preach it to everybody. I have been in situations where people have made fun of it in front of me as a child, and growing up, even now, some people say, oh, I don't like that. It's witchcraft. It makes me laugh.
How would you respond then with that? Would that be your own response, or would you be guided to respond around certain people? Because obviously you'll be tuning in and feeling things as well.
I'd say in my 30s, I would probably feel sorry for people that didn't believe in it. But now, it's like anything, life, it matures you, doesn't it? I always just say, I see you on the other side.
Yeah.
Let it speak for itself. It's just I don't ever have any malice to anybody. I respect people's views and love them for it. It's just the fact that there's something that's closed them off. Send them the love. As my students will say, love and light.
Yeah.
That's all I say.
Yeah. And going back, because obviously when you first started having these experiences, because we're looking for, if there is people out there listening and trying to sort of give them a bit of guidance. If there's someone out there that's quite young, they might be having these gifts. Some people, it scares them. So it's just interesting to know, how did you start approaching your family about it? How did you get some guidance with it?
My first experience to actually come into the room was 14. Well, 13. I had a great uncle, my Uncle Jim. He was my mum's uncle. And he was massive into the spiritualist church in Bedworth. So my mum was, my Uncle Alan was quite renowned in Birmingham. He was a medium. So, but we never really, he always kept himself to himself out of the family. So my mum never really knew. She knew he'd got something, but she didn't know what it was all about. And it was until about 10, 11. I always knew I'd be over puberty age when it would come out, where I would start practicing it, because I was told when I was 7 or 8 that, by spirit, that this will really open up for you as a teenager. Just go with it now. And I was always looked after by spirit. So 14 was 13, I think I was, because I was just gone to Nicholas Chamberlain. So about 12, actually. My Uncle Jim, I asked my Uncle Jim if I could go to church with him. And he said, of course you can. And then the first medium in there said, you've got to come. So I did. I joined literally that first session. And then my Uncle Jim was a bit, I better ask her mum, I better ask her mum. And my mum said, look, if it helps you, you do it. And I've just always done it.
And did you have a circle then?
It was a circle then. I was under a circle under John Chapman. He was the president of the Spiritualist Church. And then on and off, because it's life, isn't it? I'm a teenager. I want to go out with my pals and all that. So it was on and off. I kept going back, but I was always drawn back to the church. Always knew, and that's why I always say to people, it's got to be. It's never all or nothing. You'll go step in and out of it, because you've got to live an experience of life to be able to help other people through their lives.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
I had to have a childhood to understand children, and teenage life and all that, getting drunk and doing all that, So I was always in it, and then really it was in my 20s, about 19, 20, when I really started. I did very first platform I ever did was I was 14 in a church in Bedworth, so I know, and I'll be honest, I would never put a child on a platform, personally. But I suppose they just felt, and I as a teacher, I agree that that's where you learn. That's where you get your information. But I was 14 when I first did it, and I carried on doing it. And it was every week or every month. I actually don't know a routine, but I was always at the Spiritual Church. And I think I was about 20 or 19 when Val Richardson, and she's passed away now, she was a teacher of mine. And she was just amazing. She absolutely loved me and loved everything about it. And she really did put me under her wing. So I would say, she was the only human guide I had through it. John Chapman was amazing. He was brilliant, but he was a president of a church. So it was, spirituality and all religion. He taught me the religion side of it.
Yeah.
So, but Val really nurtured it, brought it out.
Love that. Thank you, Val.
She believed in me.
We always get sent in a mentor and a teacher.
I always said when I write my book, it will be definitely dedicated to her. You don't forget the people.
No.
You never forget. I always remember, you never forget people that have just helped you. I've been broken and gone to that woman and she's gone, put kettle on,
Yeah.
Remember why you're here.
Now you're that person that puts the kettle on. We all come to you now. But that's what, what you're saying, you have to live that life to then be that person for others.
That's what it's all about. You can't go into this without... People who say, I just started when I was in my 40s. A lot of people come into it late. You've always been in it.
Yeah.
You've been a carer, loved people. You've always been in it. Yeah. So there's just that light bulb. That's the moment for other people, I suppose.
And when did the Reiki come into it?
That was from a good friend of Anne-Marie Cowley. She actually was the founder of the Hayloft, who I took over from. She was... she's a beautiful friend, beautiful person, but she has feelings. She's more of a psychic, but she was all into the healing side. And I was always, as a kid in my 20s, I used to say, you're a healer, and I used to say, I don't want to be a healer. I was quite naive to it, to be honest. I knew the power of it, and I got healing. I had meningitis when I was 15, and really felt the healers around me, seen them. Experienced healing firsthand. So I was quite naive to it, really, of the power. So it was her. She tuned me in my chakra, the level 1. And she said, just do that if you want, live with that. And I was like, but I really found it amazing. And I really did feel that energy. It was like a circuit board just went through me. And I loved it. So that's when I really went down the healing and obviously a master's and teach it. But I've actually retired because I've given a lot of it to your good friend.
You were the last. I was the last course when you were the Reiki master.
I gave it
this
to
is the last course.
Well, I never gave it. I always knew, and I always knew from even when I first went into it. I knew when I tuned my masters, I would be coming out of it. I'd always obviously oversee things, the Reiki shares with people and that. But I'll always do the masters. I'll always teach that. But I just always knew that was when I'd come out, when I'd set, because it's all about other circles, creating other platforms. That's why I always say you can't have any jealousy, or you've got to see everybody get on in this.
Absolutely.
Because the more little groups that go ahead,
about that.
yeah, the more you feed these little groups and it's amazing.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
And for those that are interested in going into Reiki and learning Reiki and having that in their world, Suzanne is
King, yeah.
is based over in Nuneaton at the House of Healing.
And she's amazing. I know
She
she's
is
very good. She's been brilliant.
Taught by Dawn. So if that's where you want to go to her. She is a beautiful girl. Isn't she? Yes.
Anne-Marie, I mean, I can honestly say, I've got a lot of students that are in Reiki. Christina, Stacey, she does it more with the animals, so if you need animal healers. Penny, I mean, with these groups, I've got hundreds of people that are in it, but to name a few.
I love it. You created an army of healers. I love it. They're
They're lovely.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of them. They are just beautiful people. They all are.
Yeah.
So that's what it's about, isn't it?
Yeah.
So in your line of work, now, for those that have, I'm sure there's been thousands and thousands of people that have come for readings over the years. And as I mentioned earlier, you've got an extensive waiting list. Definitely worth waiting for. But is there any messages, any times that have really stuck with you, any particular messages that have even blown yourself away? People that have come to you that maybe have been a bit...
Skeptic.
Yes. Any stories you can share with us, and particular things, obviously without
Thousands
names
every
or
day.
anything, but anything that stuck
Spirits
with
still
you.
amaze me every day. They are just amazing. I'd say as a bad memory, I can say the only memory going back to anything that I've had bad, but is I did a radio years ago in my 20s, and I had quite a lot of negativity from it, and it just always upset me, really, that, I never push my opinion on people. I love people for their own way in the world, but there was a lot to do with saying witchcraft and, going down that route of that I'm working with the devil. How can anything so beautiful be in such darkness?
Propaganda thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all
and
those
it just
seeds
really, and it was like, I've got my religion, and I think spirituality is all religion. It's
all
the
encompassed.
universal. If you're doing good for somebody, so going back to your question about readings and that, it's been absolutely the most rewarding and most beautiful thing you've ever done, because you see that person broken, because bereavement is terrible.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing, which you've been through it yourself, haven't you? And the loss of somebody that you dearly love, and to bring that back in to their lives is just the most amazing. It's not hurting anybody, so why would so many people have such a negative approach on it?
And I know everyone works differently. I mean, I've experienced over the years, 'cause my mum loved to go originally. She started going to spiritual church. She used to drag me along on a Sunday, like Villiers Street.
Yeah, Village
And I
Street,
sit
beautiful
there,
church.
and you go through the whole thing. And I was a bit young. I was younger, so I'd love the reading bits, but I was a bit bored by all the other bits. I was like, she'd go, stop it. But we loved it, and I loved it. And over the years, I've seen lots of different people work differently.
Yeah,
I'll just say everyone works differently.
Not all shoe fits,
and it's not
is
all
it?
through love and light.
That's the
Some
same
people
in
do
our-
work
in
through
our
ego.
work.
They do.
Oh,
But
gotcha.
when you get the connection, when you find someone who is working through a true, authentic, clean, heart-based connection, the stuff that comes through touches your soul. And, that channel, and as a medium, I mean, I've had a reading with you, last year, too, actually. The stuff that comes through, you can't dispute, because there's things that are going to come through you would never possibly ever know in a million years. And when you feel the connection with your loved one, I felt the connection with my mum, I felt that connection with my dad.
The
I
phrasing and the
things
words
that
they
come
said,
through.
Yeah.
you know.
And it does. There's something in that just unlocks a bit of pain, a bit of loss, and it just helps you to move forward. I feel like
That's
I'm
why I do
propelled.
it.
You
Yeah.
know, it's like, yes, come on, I've got this. It's all right. This isn't it. There's more. Once I step out of this vessel and step into the next life, they're there. I'm loved. They're watching. They're close, and that is priceless.
That's why I do it.
And you do it so well.
I do it because it helps.
Yeah.
And it brings that love back. And if I can help that person in one way or another, that's why I never give it up, because people say, oh, you must get tired. And yeah, there will be a day I'll have to,
Yeah.
'cause it takes my energy. But it's that.
Yeah.
And people say, does that empower you? I said, it doesn't empower me physically. It empowers me knowing that I've put these two people back together, or 3 or 4 people. I have no control who comes through, because it comes in their energy.
Yeah.
People think it does channel through, but it's around the person that I'm doing it for.
It's around their
It's
energy.
around their energy, yeah. There's an energy portal in everybody that it's in that. So I've never understood, no disrespect, 'cause there's thousands of thousands of psychic mediums that can do it online, you know, because that's a psychic ability. I'm not taking that away, that you can't do it online and you can't do it over the phone.
Everyone works a bit differently.
But I know mediumship can't be. We can't do it.
You've got to feel
We've
their
got to
energy
be
and
with
see
the
it,
person,
see what's
yeah,
there.
to see what's around that person. I've done some work in Australia where I worked with a detective team over there, but they had to send me stuff to hold so I could feel the energy of that item.
Yeah.
And then we did stuff over, I don't even know, I'm old. Is it Skype? It's Skype,
Yeah,
is
Skype,
it?
yeah. Skype, Zoom.
I'm old Zoom, whatever
Zoom's
it's
the
called. I
modern
don't do
one.
technology.
Skype was when I was
I'm not a
younger.
technology person, as my daughter will tell you.
You don't need to be. You don't
she-
want to be, do you?
No, it's negative, ain't it? But it's, yeah, so I did that through Skype, and, you know, that's really the only thing I've ever really done. Years ago, before when I was a kid, I could do it over the telephone because there was one line coming in and one line going out.
Yeah.
But on anything to do with a device like Facebook, anything like that, that's got links to it, apps to it, you're getting everything.
Yeah.
You
You
could
need to be around the person's
your
energy.
mobile, you might not have to have apps. A lady rang me once from Scotland and said, could you give me a reading over the phone? I said, it's not, I could, but it wouldn't be fair. I wouldn't be working in the truth, because I could be picking up somebody you've had a conversation with.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting, what happens with people as well, like you say, you can't help who comes through. And sometimes we have a tendency in this life to be, you'll have a beautiful message from, say, your granddad, and you go, well, I didn't know him. And it's like, but they know you.
They'll watch you.
And we can have people watching over us that we've never met, your ancestors and guides. And I also think, they're all watching us.
But isn't it nice to know that somebody's watching?
Yeah, but a lot of time we
Somebody-
can't help it. If
We've got
we've
your
just
back,
lost
yeah.
someone recently, we're going with that intention. And I can imagine for you that could be a bit difficult, 'cause sometimes you see people coming in with this hope that they want to connect, and then someone else comes in.
And they could have the most beautiful reading, and it's, you know, you make them, empower them as a person, because they've lowering themselves anyway, and you're trying out that. But if they want to hear from mum, they want mum.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's only one port, and this industry could just get such a battering. It's just so negative sometimes with people, and they will say, well, I wanted to speak to mum and that's all I want, but Nan came through mum's mum. But there's only one vessel to each human body, each soul. So the spirit and the soul have power to link in out of the body. So the cord is very, very powerful. So your mum has got a cord to your life. So they can, but they also only have one. So if they've corded, what my guides will say, linked in, they've linked into somebody else. They've linked in. So if you've got a sibling that's going through such a bad time, you know, they don't sit on a cloud in heaven. You know, it's a part of this universe. It's a part of this room. So they're corded in. So they're giving the other child the healing and the love that they need. I've had girls come and say, I want to speak to mum because my brother's going through it. I go, well, because your mum's corded in, she's already doing it. She's already
not gonna come
connected.
through.
Just because she's not coming to tell you Nan's name and Granddad's name and your partner's name, but she's doing a fantastic work with your brother. But that's what it's about.
And would you say to some people as well, I think we had a conversation about once again, if someone's recently passed, or sometimes if they've been coming for readings and they never get the person through, is it a case of sometimes that soul, the person is got work and stuff to do themselves when they've passed? Or
It's very difficult. It's a complex with spirit. It's choices. You have choice on this earth, and your spirit, your soul still has choices. So you have choice in the body, but also you have choice in spirit. So they can choose whether they want to come through or not. It doesn't mean that they don't love you, but they may be going through channels. Yes, as mediums, I've seen the spirit. I had a reading not long ago where the dad had passed 2 days ago. They actually booked the appointment 6 months before, and 2 days before her dad passed. Never knew. She said, I don't even know why I booked the appointment. But it was always because, obviously, the universe no bigger.
yeah,
And he came straight through.
straight through after 2 days.
You know, he just came straight through. He was, you know, he communicated, gave even his name, you know, his surname and
He was
everything.
that strong after 2 days.
And some information you don't know all your ancestry. You know, I've had people, I had a gentleman come through once and he gave me his name, and the daughter was there, said, I don't know who he is. And I kept saying, it's your dad, it's your dad. He's saying it's dad. And you have to believe that you know what you have to have trust that you know what you're getting. You're only a communicator.
Yeah.
So I'm not God, I'm a communicator. So I just said, well, you're saying it's dad. She sent me a text that night and said, I'm so sorry. My mum's just said that was his name, but I never knew him as that. You know, they changed his name. You know, his dad, they renamed that. Usually in the older generation, they were named after their dads or the granddads.
Yeah.
But they'd use the middle name as... But she said, I didn't know my dad was that name. So you can grow with somebody all your life and not ever know this information.
Yeah.
But-
And what's your beliefs? Obviously, I've got mine on if someone comes for a reading and looking for a reading of someone and that person has been reincarnated and come back, what's your beliefs on that?
There is reincarnation, but usually reincarnation, again, choice, through their choice of... I had a lady that said, you know, she was an only child, you know, her mum was an only child, because that cord is so strong of when you're born to a parent, there's two sides of that cord, and that actually still stays in that spiritual realm. So they always say the children have to pass before you can reincarnate. That's what Spirit has always told me through a young age. So I've always just believed that because I've always believed what they've given me. However, but they've also told me it's their choice. So reincarnation is a recreation of the soul. So obviously if they've reincarnated, they're not going to come through.
Yeah, because I would want to just keep an eye on. I want to be going and doing my own things and being free and exploring. But I'd also want to be making sure I'm checking in with my girls,
still do
my
that.
grandkids, and you know, and be there for their transition. I wouldn't want them to transition over.
You got to
know,
think as a
before
soul.
I maybe came
But
back.
then it's like, yeah, if your soul's still got lessons to learn them and stuff to do.
You've only on this earth to learn,
Yeah.
and you're learning to love. That's it.
So
And
we
if
better learn to
you,
love big time.
so you're learning
soul.
lessons, and that's all the vessel. That's all why the physical vessel is here. You're
Yeah.
learning it. It's your classroom. So when we pass over, the body does pass over. Well, the body actually is the bereavement, isn't it?
Yeah.
Touch and that, because that's the non-physical. Once we lose the soul. But once we pass over, yes, there is levels. Answering your question, you can. There's everything's got layers in
Yeah.
the spirit world. Everything's got energy, vibrations. And one of the vibrations, I always believed that there is actually 6 different levels of passing. So the 6 levels of a soul. So the first level, obviously, is the human soul, which is 2. And then 3, 4, and 5 is what we're lessening within that last life. Now, No, 3. I've got to think now. 3.
Sorry, say that again. It's the lesson.
It's the lesson of the soul.
Right.
So the soul regression.
Yeah.
So you review
Yeah.
what you've done.
You
How you
review. So
conducted
it's called the
yourself, what you-
playback. You
Yeah,
play
yeah, yeah.
back your
Yeah.
life that you've just had.
I
So
dreamt about all that years ago.
so
Good, because I can't remember a lot of mine in my 20s.
well, you're not supposed to. A lot of spiritual
20s.
people do not have memory of a lot of their childhood.
I don't.
So it's really strange because you block certain things because you're in two worlds all the time. So you don't remember some stuff. But anyway, there's level 2, which is the human energy of the earth's Mother Earth and all that you're learning in the physical. Then you go through your 3, which is and 4, which is your light, that soul. You stay in that soul of practicing what you've learned here and still connecting to family, to links with that. 5 is you go into a higher vibration. You learn that power again because you've just, in the body, in the physical, we forget our power. So the 5 is really showing you that life, showing that the 5 is getting that power back and enforcing that power within getting you ready really to be born again. And you're born again in 5. 6 is regression of the soul. That means you do not come back. You've learnt everything. And then there's higher. It always goes into 12. Your 6 is you're not coming back into a body. You're living in spirit and you're being a guide. You're choosing what element you want to, and if you like in religious, you're your angel. That's your angel form. 6. Then you got your 7, your 8, and obviously moving up into your higher energies. So it's almost like you are always trying. Well, really, we're at the bottom.
Yeah, yeah.
We're learning the body is the physical thing. And yet, I don't think I've ever heard a spirit say, no matter how bad my life was, I loved my body. I miss my body. I miss the slowness of the vibration because we vibrate lower. So it's a lot slower for us. We have time. In spirit, it's very fast. It's like there's no time to spirit.
Yeah.
The soul, when it leaves the body, because the body is the water element and it is buoyed by time. So they always say, I miss that all the time. I have a band, I wouldn't have to go to work.
Well, it must be something, I mean, with life, just my feel on it, my life hasn't been a picnic, I'll be honest. A lot of the way, there's been a lot there, but I wouldn't change it.
No.
And
you learned
obviously I'm being, with the work that, doing, being made very aware of past life stuff. That's all come in, I can see why the attraction is to keep coming down, experiencing all these, like this timeline on the earth, all the changes, all the evolutions, all the different periods along the way. Stuff back in Egypt. I'm sure I had a great time there. In fact, I was a priestess. I know I had a great time. There's been magic and lessons and learning and growth along the way. Yeah, there's been hardships. There's always loss.
Yeah, there's always got to be.
And sometimes there's darkness. But even that, there's stuff in there.
Yeah.
You've
Which
got to
is
learn
taking me
it.
to a conversation about that side of life.
How can you be a guide in life if you've not experienced life? So you have to experience it in many different ways.
Yeah.
The soul has a regression of that lesson. This is the classroom, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I hear so many people say, why is it so tough? I can't do this. I go, you can do it.
Yeah.
You are doing it.
You're
You're
doing
here.
it. You're empowering it.
Yeah.
And I was, would say, what were you doing? What's been this? Is this your lowest time? And they'll go, yeah. And I'll go, and then we get talking, and they say, oh, that was really rough. I said, well, this ain't your worst time, then, is it? She's going, no, actually.
Yeah.
It's just reminding you that you've actually, it's just reminding you your power. I'll go on about it. It's all I hear from spirit.
So for people that would come to you, Dawn, that are stuck in a loop of negative mindset, behaviours, patterns, addictions, and they're really in, like they've got that parasitic dark force energy, they're feeding off where they're at. how would you advise them on where to begin or start to make a change or a shift?
It has to be, it's got to be their belief system. You've got to go back to what, because it's always, people have got to that. There's always substance. If substance, their choice is to take that. And it's taking responsibility. Not, because you get a lot of people that have had substance, not everybody, I'm not talking about everybody, that's had substance abuse that is from a bad childhood or a bad this, or blame. I blame my dad for that, I blame my mum for that, or my friend for that. But you always have a choice. And it's the physical body that chooses to believe, you believe that that's what my life is, that's what I'm worth.
Yeah.
So if you say to someone, it's other people that give, like say if I said, you're a horrible person, because I've said it, you've believed it. So you've believed in other people's actions. So you've given your power away to that person. So then you start getting lower and lower and lower, because it's the act that you believe in, and you make that real.
So you've let it in.
You've let it in, into the physical. So then they start taking the substance to make them feel good and to forget about the comments that they've had. Bullying at schools, you know, children. I had a spell of working within the children's, in my 30s, working with kids through CAMS and that, of trying to get them to believe self-love and heal, you know. It was fashionable in the end for kids to be, you know, self-harming.
Self-harming, yeah.
You know, it was massive. They were doing it on TikToks, you know, doing...
Yeah.
I couldn't understand the word. I was like, am I going, you know, is this crazy?
Yeah.
You know, but it happens because that child, there's always a seed that helps something grow. And it's something, and it's that you've got to take them back to be able to heal from it. Because you're losing your vision of your own self-worth, of believing... Yeah, you don't believe in spirit, but you believe in the people that are saying these things to you.
Yeah.
So it's finding your own soul back, bringing believing in that you're not that person.
No.
You've allowed that person because you've believed in what they've said. So it's like, there's an old saying, isn't it? You absorb negative energy, you absorb all this. And if you believe in that, you will become it.
Yeah.
There was a medium years and years ago that said your brain, you are what you believe. You can make yourself ill and you can make yourself better.
Well, that's been proven even scientifically.
Yeah, you can.
Now,
and it's very
about
clever. The mind
is
your soul is an atom of energy. And you feed the brain with that atom. That's how powerful you are. You have 12 energy layers in your body. And you feed in. So you believe something that's physical voice and vibration of that belief of that negative. And then you absorb it.
Yeah.
And you believe it.
About that.
Yeah.
And I always say to people, but you've allowed that young girl that's bullied you at school to empower you. You've told them,
exchange.
you've given her that strength in you. You know, and then it's over months of working with them to bring their powers back.
Yeah, and there's lots of ways, like you say,
They're
to
doing
get
it.
that power back.
You know.
So for people that are listening, for whatever position you're in, whatever you're going through right now, and there's a lot of younger that will come to me this morning about the younger generation, the things that they're facing and you know, having to navigate through. So whether you are absorbing some negative, low vibrational mindsets, behaviours and projections, or you are the one doing that to others, you know, the advice would be, the recommendation would be to do this.
The prescription of life, as they call it.
The medicine is in you.
Yeah, definitely.
The medicine is in you. And it's...
the worst thing that feeds the soul is media, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And always kids, when I used to do some therapy for the children, I used to say, you know, leave your phone outside. And they were like Gollum. Precious is out there in that basket. It's like they couldn't concentrate.
Not just kids either, the adults.
And they just couldn't concentrate. And you'd see them jittering like they were addicts, you know. And I used to say, I'm not laying blame on the parents, but I used to say, you know, you bought them this.
Yeah.
Who pays
But they
for
learn
your
off
phone?
adults as well, and we're
that's
watching
it.
adults never
Massively.
off our phones.
And honestly, they'd be itching like they've on like it's heroin, that phone.
Yeah.
And it's but they believe it. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but our media world is very, very clever. It feeds these kids.
Yeah, you know what?
Feeds us.
Well,
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
having grandchildren, you know, I've seen it myself. You know, devices now.
I've done it.
They're getting to be like 2 years old and they're being given an iPad or this, for that. But we need to really heavily monitor it. Now, when my grandchildren are around, they know now I don't have a TV in my house. And you know, they're not bothered about it now. Music, always music. But they do have the phone. They have gone on my phone. I've allowed it, and they say, right, I do monitor it. But I have dealt with their little demons over it.
Oh, God, yeah.
But it's the stuff, and I'll be here, and I go, I can't have that. I can't have that voice. You go, you know, YouTube is infiltrated with adults doing these, and it's just my view and opinion. I'm not berating anyone because everyone's trying to do what they're trying to do in their own way, but they screech down these episodes and they're screaming that, and some of this stuff is highly questionable.
Some of it's good. Some of it's
it is lovely,
educational,
but
you
some
know,
of it's
like the
highly questionable.
phonics and, you know, doing... My granddaughter's really into the snail and the whale, and we have to put it on the telly for her.
Yeah.
But it's
Oh, no, some of
really
them are
helped her to
brilliant.
talk, you know, but it's
Some of it,
monitoring.
I'm like, can you turn
You've
that
gotta
off,
monitor
change
it.
it, put something else on? But a lot of people would be like, okay, they're all right, they're okay, they're watching that. But then that episode would lead to that, and then that, and that, and that.
Oh,
and some
yeah.
of the stuff isn't healthy. All I'm saying is it's not healthy.
I have a lot
It's
of
not brain
parents
food.
not being. I mean, who has time to go out in the real? I'm not a hippie. God, I've lived life. You've got to also live in the physical world as well.
Yeah.
You've
Yeah.
got to, I'm not
Human
saying
experience,
everything
isn't it?
is going to be. You know, I'm not a every tree I see I hug. You know, I'm not like that. But
We are. We're looking for you.
wow, they are very powerful at the moment. The earth's changed, doesn't it? So
Love it.
they're
We've got to
both-
protect ourselves, though.
Yeah.
You
And
keep it
teach
grounded
kids-
for us,
and
Dawn.
teach kids-
But you know, that's what this world's all about.
I just hold the tree and
That's
hope
what
for the
scares
best.
people. It scares people to come into it. I'm a realist.
Yeah.
You know, I say, well, if life's too short. If you want something, have something.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I'm not one of these that go, no, you must not do that to the soul. You know, I'm not. If you want to have a fag, have a fag. You know, it's
Yeah.
your choices. You have a human. You've got to have a human experience
Experience.
through it.
Yeah.
And don't forget, there is a blueprint to your life. So that person is meant to do these things. You learn life. A lot of addicts that I've got off drugs, and they look back at themselves and say, yeah, but I wouldn't have met that person. I wouldn't have done that. So, you know, there is
Can't help
frequency.
others if you haven't been
No.
there.
And I always think you've got to experience it to be able to I mean, I've never took a drug in my life, but doesn't mean I don't understand it because I've seen it. But I've seen some people go from this broken down addictions to they've just walked out. It's like they've just had that awakening, and they haven't gone to sit on a mat and preach to the divine. What they've done is they've found the divine within themselves.
Yeah, they've remembered it.
They've remembered their technology. They've remembered their imprinting on themselves.
And I love that. And that is beautiful because this is the reason why we're doing what we do. We sit with people who've got stories, who have real experiences, who've been in situation and had their own challenges. They've faced their own darkness, but they've had to go through it with addiction, drink, gambling, porn, going back to what we talked about with Jeff and stuff. But the beauty and the magic that can come from that when you come through it and come out the other end.
But all that,
the being that you are.
all addiction is from people. It's from, they've believed this, like every addiction that I've helped with, every person has said, a lot of it is guilt. They relapse because they feel guilt. Because
Interesting.
it's other people putting on their perspective, and it's always that seed again. It's like somebody keeps planting that seed in doubt into their own soul. And I say, who are these people? Yes, you love these people, but why do you relapse? And we get down to it, say, because I feel, again, they may blame, they say, but it's that feeling of guilt. that
Is it
Guilt
that they
and
can't
shame.
let love in?
guilt and
They
shame.
can't
Yeah,
let love in.
they
can't
think a
love-
drug addict is just scum. They think they're the lowest of the low. They've all these people, but they've got a story
Massive.
that has made them. And if you actually sit with them, my husband will always say, "You're a nightmare. I can't walk past an homeless person." We are, going. I won't never give money. I won't, but I will go and say, "Do you want a cup of tea? What do you want, tea or coffee?" We had one the other day outside Tesco's, and I went in, got him a tea, 9 sugars. I said, "You'll have bad tea with 9 sugars." I tried to mother them, but they're just people. It's somebody's child.
Yeah.
These are just people that have some of them have just had a very bad, not everybody's had parents and they've got into drugs and been spoilt and that. Some people have in the system and not had parents, and as soon as they're 16, just chucked them out. So,
lots of
everybody's
reasons.
got stories.
Yeah.
And it's just, you can't do it on face value. That's why I hate media. Hate it, because but it's the media that are feeding these people with the information.
Yeah. But that's why we were saying with things like this, you want to use media and use platforms for a positive way.
Podcasts, that's why I agreed to do it, because
Yeah.
I think you have a choice whether you want to listen to it.
Yeah.
When you
find
put
the
telly
right
on, you have
person.
you walk past a shop, you don't choose to buy the paper, but it's there.
Yeah.
You walk past something and it's there, and people are talking about it. But these are literally, you can choose if you want to
so
listen to it.
drawn to it.
It's not out there, is it? Well, it is, but it ain't.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing. And the purpose of the soul space, ultimately, is we've all got our stories, and everyone, we feel, because we have to go in and feel, is this feel right to invite this person in? Is it, timing and all that sort of thing? But the messages are, there are so many ways that you can move forward. There are so many sort of practices and things you can tap into to heal your body, to heal your mind, to heal your heart, and to connect with who you are on a soul level, and feel and have a more fulfilling life.
Yeah.
Whatever you're going through, it's okay. Everything's temporary. We're here, like you say. If you're going through it, it's you're gonna just think of what's going to be born out of that, the growth and the lessons that are going to come through
The
those
good from it.
hardships and challenges and adversities.
They've also got to want it.
Yeah.
Some people like that.
Please want to get brighter.
No, but
It's like,
isn't
I
it?
say this to Suzanne quite a lot
they've
about
gotta want
healing. Healing, you can't, you're a vessel of healing. We're just vessels to it. And I always say to her, she said, "I can't heal that. They're just not getting better." I said, "Because they don't want it.
Yeah.
They actually don't. They just like to come and, they don't want it. They some people do like to be poorly.
Yeah.
But you've got to realise is why I said you've got to know why they don't want to be healed. There's a story there.
Yeah.
Because from some people who read, I'm ill, is because they want attention. Why
Yeah.
do they want attention? Why do they want to be ill? Because that's the bit you've got to heal. Not so much coming and having a liver cleanse and, cleanse it, You've got to hear, this is very powerful. And your body is powerful. You have 12 energy layers outside your body, and inside you have a chakra system, meridian system, and it vibrates out, causing layers of energy. But it's also above you. I know there's a lot of people at the moment in the last 10 years hearing about the law of attraction. It's always been there.
Yeah.
People are making a lot of money on it, which is great. If at the end of the day, it's about getting it out there and people to believe in it. But this layers of energy, that's where you've got to go. You've got to heal that. And that's what Reiki is amazing. I'll always be, I absolutely love people. I've helped people with fertility. They've gone and had 7 rounds of IVF. I mean, that is just crippling.
And it's brutal.
And
that
it's,
process is
that
brutal on the body.
relationship, with that you've got to have a very strong relationship and, they've said, and I do, I'm sorry, I'm a realist as well, but I do believe in miracles. I 100%
So
do.
do we.
Yeah.
And
So do
it's
we.
but the healing process, it does come down to the energy layers, and it does come down to the chakra and meridian system.
Open, isn't it?
Yeah, and I've had girls, you know, a client of mine I still see her now. She desperately wanted a baby, went through IVF, not discounting IVF. If you've got to try that, medical does work, science does work. Because I'm a big believer in science, but she just got every door shut, and she said I was desperate, and she was absolutely broken. She had rounds of Reiki. I told her, you know, we looked at the body of how her body was working, and she's got a little boy now. You know, she's absolutely amazing mother, and she kept saying, I can't believe that you've done that, you know, and I see her now and she just goes, because I don't know why it's all shush, you can't, you know, she said, I don't want anybody to know I'm having that. I said, why? You know, if it's helping you.
Yeah.
But she loves it now, she promotes it, so, but so IVF I've helped a lot of people through IVF. Yeah. I just know that Suzanne and you lot, because you work with Suzanne, don't you, with the healing, you're just going to be amazing. And if you heal, I always say to them, if you can heal one person, you have done your job. That's what you need to do. If you've made a difference to one person, that's why you're in it. Yeah. You don't have to heal the world. No. But that's. Do you love your Reiki?
Yeah.
You've done it though, haven't you?
Yeah, I did do Reiki years ago. And I was saying, we were talking about that in the car, weren't we?
Yeah.
I kind of went on to, I like to learn lots of different things. So kind of like a little bit of a kind of mix and match.
There's
of
different kinds of
kind
Reiki.
of things, really.
There's so many different ways.
I've brought it more into my breath work now, because I went more into breath work. But the Reiki is what will help. If I'm doing a breath work session on someone, I'll be able to feel where the block is.
Well, Reiki only works with the power of the elements. Yeah. So the breath is the air element. Yeah. So and you have to bring the fire in, and you have to have the elements of the earth. Yeah. The energy. So Reiki will only work with that. So you need the breath work. Yeah. And water.
I do feel different energies coming through, depending on the person that comes in. I never fully know really how because obviously I work with my hands, with the massage of the body, but I never know.
Your massage are amazing.
Thank you so much, I appreciate it.
Absolutely amazing.
I never know that every single one is different. Even lady last night, she came, she went, it wasn't like that before. There was lots of stuff going on there.
Well, you have to shift
it'll be different every single time. Her body was so lots, but it'd be different. I've had people's nan step in and she's chatting me in. I'm like, oh my gosh, you know. But she needed to hear that. Or my shamanic guide step in and I'm just hearing the rattle. You know, and then I'm in and I'm out and I'm in and 2 hours has gone and I'm going, oh, it felt like 10 minutes to me. It's different every single time.
But you think, God, I've only been here 10 minutes. Yeah. And somebody said, 3 hours. I was doing a reading once. Yeah. I mean, Sue, who I work with, Sue Whitcroft, she's amazing. She's my best friend, as everybody knows. But she'll say, time, because she protects my energy. Yeah. It's 3 hours doing one reading. Can you imagine? I was like,
that's like you with your massage. You'd be going 3 hours sometimes.
Darling,
you've got to look after yourself. You can't. That is just too much.
I've got now 4 days off because
week.
For this week, it was so intensive. I've learnt the hard way. Obviously, my work is different, evolved. But I've learnt the hard way. No, I need time
physical. I mean, I'm just getting over it. Just getting over a cold now because you just, just because you're a healer, don't mean that you don't get elements. People will say, "Why are you ill?" I say because I'm knackered. Because I'm giving, and now I'm. Because you've just drained the shit out.
I had joked about today when I went in the rehab. They were all like, "You look tired today, Kim." I went, "I know, because of you lot draining all my energy and my soul," and they were laughing. So we still get tired, you know.
Yeah. Plus, we have got a physical body. Yeah. I'd be quite happy to swap mine on the other side. I'll ask for a thinner one next time.
It's so funny, Dawn. But yeah, it is. I mean, there's a whole maintenance thing as well behind.
Definitely.
You have to learn to, as you said. You know, you've learnt now. You've got to put back
I don't learn. I still do it. I'm still giving from an empty cup sometimes.
Well,
I think, oh.
It's literally put me on my arse a few times over the years.
They'll take you off your feet.
You don't listen.
Because it's, you're just constantly trying to pour in people's cups. And I don't just mean with work.
No.
Either.
People.
I mean with life and the people you deal with, family, friendships, or they work friendship, or, things like that. If you're constantly pouring into the cups, which I was trying to do, fix everyone else.
I've never had a planned day, ever. People say to me, what? I say, I plan a day, but I've never had my planned day. Ever. I'll
I'm
plan.
so glad I'm not the only one.
I'll come, even like this morning, I knew I was coming here, and I always say, I'm never late. Other people make me late. I'm always on time, even though I'm half an hour late. Other people have made me late because you just, again, I'm going about, I'll choose to take the call. Yes, I will take the call because I'm always there if somebody needs me. But, oh, God, it's terrible. I never have a plan. My day will be 10 o'clock, I'm here, there. And then I have to ring them up and say, I'll have to reschedule, I've got to do this because something comes in.
Yeah.
Something changes my day.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you almost being driven. You know, you've got to, totally.
Have you found it hard? So for you, with this growing up and did you find it hard when you met your partner and relationships with your family? Is there a way, are you able to switch it off? Or is there times sometimes where you'll be hearing stuff about your children, about your partner, find it? Is there a way where you can switch it off? Or
you don't listen though, do you? I had a very quite abusive relationship years ago, and you don't listen to it because as a medium, you're also an empath. So you feel like you've got to rescue people. You can change that person. And I've had a few relationships where I've had to rescue them. And I think, I've rescued them. And then, 9 out of 10 have become better people. So then you've just got to think, well, okay, thank you very much. And you've had your heartache with it. Not every relationship, but again, you've got to live it to help others go through it. I've had a power every time young girls come in sobbing. I feel like I need them in my life. And, you know, when they've walked out, they've warriors.
Yeah.
So because when they get into a relationship, everything becomes their universe of them. Yeah. So you're not grieving him, you're grieving the relationship of what
you lost
it because you don't know who you are. When you're in a relationship, you become their friends, their hobbies, their things. So when you split up, what do I do? I ain't got no hobbies, I ain't got no friends. And we were just saying, weren't we, about relationships, make sure you have your girly times, make sure you've got to have that balance of knowing, because if you lose your identity of who you're in a relationship with and give it all them, you're not going to grow yourself. No. So then you're going to start resenting. Sometimes some lads, relationships are great. It's just because that person's resented because they've given so much to them as well. So it's just hard, ain't it? It's hard being here in this world.
And now you are in a beautiful soul.
Oh, God, yeah.
Married.
He's my
so when you met your beautiful twin...
I always say that I didn't fall in love till I was 42.
Okay.
Definite. I thought I knew love.
Yeah.
But, definite. Soulmate.
And he understood what you did
amazing.
Straight away.
To be honest with you, I'll tell him off. If we go out...
I've seen him at things.
And I have to tell him off because he'll say, my wife's amazing. And I'll go, not everybody's into this, you know. He'll go, she could tell you anything. She's amazing. She'll help you. She'll help your kids. She'll do this. And I'll go, not everybody knows this. Just chill out a bit. Let me just have my human experience.
He's your cheerleader.
Yeah, he's your cheerleader. You're his...
I love when I've been in circles and he's joined in. What have you seen, Andy?
I know.
And sometimes he says things and she's like, no, don't say that. Don't say what I've seen.
I always say, why did Spirit pick me? Because I'm the most down to earth. I swear, do everything, but
a private joke with a funniest time once when we sat in circle and you asked him what he's seen and he said Michael Jackson's Monkey. She was like... And he was like, well, you said say what you see,
say
what
that's
what I've
seen.
She was like, well, leave that.
Too much. But the trouble is, I've got all different characters. Every student of mine's different, and I know they've all been... But some of them are very old school, and, and Dean just swears the life out of his little soul, and he just swears, he just loves swearing and...
So that's what you have
His
now.
favourite
You have
word
a
is
circle, don't you?
I go, do you have to say that in the circle? You're not very bloody spiritual.
So just for people listening, so the circle is this is where you teach others now.
Yes, yeah. I'm a teacher.
You have a closed circle.
I've always been a teacher. I've been a teacher. I went into teaching when I was about 33, in my 30s. Yeah. So yeah, I love it. That's where I am, and that's where I know. I was told as a young kid I'd be a teacher. I thought they meant primary teacher or something, but I know what that terminology is. I always teach people.
Yeah.
We want to come into your circle when there's availability.
Of course,
please.
yeah.
We're on the waiting list, top of the waiting list, aren't we?
You will, of course.
We're coming over.
All I ever say to people is just commitment to it.
Yeah.
And I think you've got a lot going on at the minute.
Yeah.
We have. There's a lot of growth, and we are
And
very
you really,
grateful
you'll
and
grow
mindful.
and grow and grow. But
Yeah.
But going back to the relationships in my family have never really... My brother was very spiritual when he was a kid. But through puberty, it turned off for him. It just stopped. So the way we perceive that, he's always been a psychic. He's always had that. We've all got that, and it's always been a little bit heightened because he was CID, so he had that heightened that knowledge of his own gut, and he trusted in it. But when he was as he's coming out of his, going into what we call menopause for men as well, it drops. He started to see again. So it can come. Hormones can affect it. The thyroid system can affect it. He's not to that level, but he sort of understood me as a kid. We understood each other, but I've always seen. He sees now, but he never did as a child. So
I love that.
yeah, he's so other people. I would say my Uncle Jim and my Uncle Alan were the only. My Aunt Veronica always loved it when I was a kid. She used to always say, "What do you see around me?" And I would be in bed with her as a kid, and she'd say, "Do you see anything around me?" I'd say, "Yeah." And she used to say, tell me stories, and I'd tell her things that I see.
Yeah.
So, and my nan probably, my nan was very. I had two great nans. My Nana Baum was really the teacher. She taught me to bake, cook, be a mother, I suppose. Yeah. And my nan was just the fun part. She was the egg and chips nan, as we call her. But she was just so full of life. She was amazing. She was the cheeky side of me, I think.
Yeah.
The down to earth and put kettle on, we'll have a cup of tea, sort that out. But she used to love it. She didn't really get into it till quite late in life with me.
Yeah.
She'd say, but she was more because she wanted to know gossip. She'd say, "What do you see with her next door?"
Actually, just brought me to it. Have you ever channeled anyone who would be well known in, someone who's a bit famous? Only because I've been years and years ago when I was doing development and stuff. Bruce Lee came through somebody one day.
In spiritually?
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, I had a real crush when I was great. Everybody, all my pals, all liked Bros and
Bros.
Wet and all that.
Yeah.
I did like
Matt
her,
and
but
Luke
I loved
Goss.
Elvis.
Oh my gosh, hello.
You like to?
Elvis.
Yeah.
I've always been an Elvis kid. I've always loved him. So when I first seen him, I was about 9 when I first seen him spiritually, and I just still love him.
We love you. I love Elvis.
I smelt him before I've seen him. He smells beautiful.
Really?
Oh my God. He'd make anybody. He's waiting for me, I think.
He's absolutely beautiful. Did you see the film that they did of him? That
which
was
is very
incredible.
good because he was manipulated. He had a terrible life, but that's another
He
story.
was connected, weren't he?
He's told me
I
he
loved
was
him.
very spiritual himself. He was very connected to a twin.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah.
So but Bob Marley was a guide of mine. If you've been in my room, I've got pictures of Bob Marley. But Robert Marley, he comes to me as Robert because he was, weren't he?
Yeah.
But I'll tell you how he came to me. Talk about changing. I kept seeing him for about months. I kept saying to my husband, Dean, I keep seeing Bob Marley in meditation, like visualisation. I was even driving along and thought he'd come into my visual, my energy, my visual energy. And I thought, why does he keep coming into my life, because it all resorts to cannabis. I've never, I don't poo-poo it. I think people who have it, great. But I've never done it, so why is he coming to me, and all that. But I had about 3 months after, I had a black spot on my toe. And it come through, me and my husband had been on holiday and it was boiling hot and I burnt my feet. And there was a black mole come on my toe. I didn't think nothing of it. Seeing it, didn't think that. I thought it was a freckle, something. And it weren't until Dean said to me, "How did Bob Marley die?" And I said, "Actually, I don't know. I think when he shot." So we Googled it, and it was foot cancer, and it was from a black mole on his foot. So I obviously went to the doctors, and I had to have it removed. When
Oh, wow.
it hadn't
It's like a little
turned, it was
warning.
just a little, but he must have been telling me
Trying to
about
tell you,
this.
to warn you, yeah.
So fascinating.
Yeah.
When going back to do the ever, wow, that was wow
Yeah.
for me. I thought, oh, thank you very much.
Wow.
So yeah, I had to have
Appreciate
it
that,
cut
Marley.
Have
I'm
you
still
ever
seeing.
had times where you found it difficult where something's come through for a family member or for people and you've had to not get involved?
Oh yeah.
Because sometimes you can change people's paths and stuff. So have you had where you've had to hold back?
Yeah. Not. I had a bad with a family member years ago where, well, it was actually a sibling where we fell out for about a year because something was in my stomach. Because you get a lot for family because it's caudal, it's
Yeah.
cord, where you sort of get it bitty. It's like little bits. It doesn't feed you properly like a normal. You know, if I see do a reading, I don't know them. I don't like knowing knowledge about people because I get it better.
Yeah.
If I know somebody, it comes quite bitty. It's like bits here and there. So it was coming like that, and I thought, I kept having this like really sicky feeling. And it was every time I was in the presence of somebody who was connected to it. And I thought, something don't feel right. So I approached a sibling and said, I don't like that. Then they fell out with me. And then a year later, it all come out that it was happening.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but that was that journey. She
Yeah.
had to learn that, and she wasn't and it wasn't pleasant, but
Yeah.
she had to learn that. So, yeah, and it's
Times
hard.
where- yeah,
it's
'cause
really
you'd wanna
hard because
say-
when it's a sibling, it's to your core.
Yeah.
But now I look back and think, well, that year that we didn't speak was a growth for me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they did remove me for a
There's always
reason.
that side of it as well. Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
Because you get
Exactly
when
that.
you're very close to somebody, you get very dependable, like that
Being
sister.
you know,
You can't move on with it. You do things. You got. They say don't do that. That ain't, so you listen to people, and same vice versa. That you give advice, but you don't have to take it.
Yeah.
But I was taking it because it was my soul.
Yeah.
My sister's my soul. So a year of 12 months, I was able to find my own identity and not have to rely on the sister love as well. So I learned a lot through that.
There was a reason in it.
And again, to help people that have sibling or family issues, I've had to go through it to learn it.
Yeah. Yeah. That knowledge around it.
Yeah. So that's the only real experience. But yeah, friends, yes, definitely. I've known where, there's something's not right. Illness more. I've said, go and get that checked. That don't feel right to me. And they've gone and said, oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Go and get that looked at.
And you also know when two people are divinely ordered to be together as well, don't you, Miss This?
Oh, that was so funny. I'll always laugh at that.
I love you.
Because you just...
I was like...
You just don't trust.
Just don't.
You were like, no,
I love
definitely
that.
not. No. I remember not everything's
we
for
are.
now, and I always say that in my
Yeah.
readings. I always say, you're not going to know everything sitting there today. You're not going to know
Yeah.
all your life. Yes, they'll give me some past things to confirm. I've never liked to be called a fortune teller.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it just because we don't have future things. We have things for the future, but it's more to do. We're not allowed to interfere in people's balance. You have to meet
Yeah.
people. People say to me, they'll come and say, "You didn't tell me my husband was cheating last time you come to see you." I said, "I didn't see it. We weren't meant to."
You also chose
Because
that lesson.
everything that
growth.
you've done, because you had a child, that child had to be here.
Yeah.
So we're not
There's a
God.
time-
We
yeah,
can't.
We have to go through everything, don't we? We
Yeah,
have to experience it all.
definitely.
And I'm glad that there is so grateful, and I said to this, but I'm so grateful because that you
No,
did give me
Dawn,
that.
I don't believe that.
But that was the only thing that I held on to, and I thought, well, I have to trust and surrender. Give
At
it
the time, you
time,
weren't trusting.
I wasn't. I was questioning it because it was like the everything is just so like this, and But
You were like, no, I've got to
but I
just
wouldn't
shut
change
off.
it.
I've got to shut off from that. And
Focus
I've
on
got to
me, focus on me, focus on me, focus on me.
But that little bit of hope was
But I
what
love
you
him,
needed.
but I focus on me. But obviously now, I wouldn't have changed it. I wouldn't have changed that. And
I
it
don't
had
think
to be,
you
it had
went.
to
You
be
walk
that
into
way.
the car. You went, no, I've just accepted. I went,
So I was the
here I
opposite
am
a
now
few
with
months ago. I was wanted to come to you. My guys, I got told I was like a sport child. So I got told no, not yet, because I was running for answers.
Yeah.
Just running to Dawn for the answers that you know. And Susie gave me a look. She always gives me like, you know the answer. So then I went to Susie for a Reiki instead, and she's giving me the whole, you do your own Reiki. And I'm going, no, just... And then I'm going to afterwards. I sat up and looked at her. She went, oh, you're not expecting me to give you anything. And I was like, she went,
you got to
Kim,
find it. 'Cause
you
again,
know,
if we could do that, yeah, a medium should only ever be a guidance.
Yeah.
And yes, and to connect the two worlds, to bring that clarification that their family. A lot of people say to me, "Are they okay?" Because their last vision. Don't forget, in illness, it comes with PTSD as well. So they're going to have trauma to it, and that is the bit that I want to help with. That trauma, because the last vision of their person that they absolutely look up to and idolise is half that person, or they have seen that vision. They've got to remember that person had that lifetime. They had 70 or 80 in a good way. If your parents get to 80, you're very lucky. But, they had their life, and their spirit would always say to me, don't remember my last grain of my life. Remember me as that photograph, and that they'll always give me that information. But spirit go through it.
Yeah.
Spirit really struggle with their loved ones suffering. I know when I die, I won't want to see my children. They're going to grieve, and I want them to cry to release the energy, but I don't want them to suffer.
No.
Yeah.
And it's very hard for spirit to watch their children and their loved ones broken.
Yeah.
And I've had £1 for every time they've said, I hate it. I hate seeing this. How can I make them better? I say that you've just got to that's where mediums come in, and they'll say, we're called a lighthouse to spirit, and spirit will say to me, I've looked for the lighthouse. I've looked for that person to tell them, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm great. I'm full of body. Yeah. I am that person again, to remember me as that soul, not the end part of my life. It's like any leaf system. Everything's got to get old. It's a good honour to get old. So I know I moan about all my lines and everything, but it's a gift to get older. I don't just see people, old ladies and old men. I also see the children's side of it.
And we've all known people and experienced loss of people of all ages, young.
And it's trauma.
Yeah.
Death is trauma, and it is awful.
Love with nowhere to go.
Nobody questions going to see a therapist. Nobody questions that. I went into psychotherapy, and I've done all that, and I went into therapy again, retired out of it now. But it's nobody if somebody booked me for a therapy, they'd just say I'm going to see a therapist. Yeah. But yet a lot of people, 9 out of 10 say, I ain't told my husband I've come to see a medium. I ain't told him. But it is a therapy.
Yeah.
Oh, big time. It's such a beautiful
It's to know, because death leaves so many questions of, are they all right? Any mother would want to know their children. Are my kids all right?
No, they're all right.
You know it because you've got a gut.
It's just us left behind.
Yeah.
But we are coming up to time now.
Okay.
I'm so grateful that
You're
you came
very
today.
welcome.
Thank you so
I
much.
hope it's helped people.
Yeah, but I just want to leave with these words, 'cause it's just come to me. And I've spoken about my dad a few times. But I was very fortunate with my dad, and I say that, even though it was still painful, we were there with my dad towards the end. We got a lot of soul time with him. And I know that there's people in our lives as well at the moment that we know who are, with their loved ones who are terminal. But the one thing my dad did say, and he said nothing, he said, I just want you to live your life.
Yeah.
Live your life. move forward, be happy. And you know, that is it. Live your life. So every day, I give thanks and honour and blessings to my ancestors.
Oh, definitely.
But this is what drives us now, knowing you've got Pickle and you've got your ones. This is what also helps drive me. Live your life every day. Be grateful. Just create.
But also
magic.
people that are terminal now, and I always say to people, like, you've got communication. Yeah. You've got to communicate in this world, in this body, because nobody communicates. Yeah. And then you need a medium. I don't really want to be needed.
Don't leave things unsaid.
You know, I don't want that. I don't want to be needed for that. Say what you've got to say. Yeah. Don't hold anything in. No. Speak your truth. Yeah. And have healing with it. And speak to your children. Communicate. Communicate with your partners. Fathers all the time say, I never told them I loved them. Yeah. I never told them I was proud of them. And I think,
there's the healing.
I have to do that. Yeah. You know, I don't want to be doing it. Yeah. And that's why I agreed to come more into the media world, really, to get that for people that are terminal and people that are living still, to say and have healing from that. Yeah. Communication, you've got to tap it. If you feel it, say it.
Absolutely.
Because then hopefully one day I'll be able to retire.
Communication is key. So thank you again, Miss Dawn. We love you.
Yeah.
Yes. We honour you. Thanks again. Thank you for watching. And we did well sharing our guests.
I think we've done well. Considering we both like talking so much.
Sharing is caring.
Yeah.